Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. How we doing, everybody? This is the Answer the Call podcast, which is a Star Citizen podcast where we talk about the goings-on of the week or specific topics, and we open up our Discord calls to you and allow you to share your feelings about what's going on, either in Star Citizen at the moment or, again, on a specific topic. Kind of going back to the old days of the podcast a little bit this week, because 324 or 323.2, as I'm starting to refer to it again, is not wave one yet. So
no,
things are moving kind of slow, and we decided to go a little old school and say, let's stick the show to one particular topic for the most part, and we are going to talk about today, after going over a little bit of news, about what rewards might be to us in Star Citizen, because there is some news around that front that is really interesting. The call room is already full. Everybody is excited to talk about this subject. Now, just a note, what I'm looking for the calls, I would like for you guys to stick to that subject if you can. And two specific things. What do you think rewards will look like in 4.0 if this content releases in it? And what do you think rewards should look like for the overall long-term health of Star Citizen, right? So you can get a little more pie in the sky and wild there. Try to be realistic in what you think 4.0 is going to be. But
we're not talking just about like UEC, because obviously, like what are you going to be spending that on, or like what kind of rep rewards would you like, or like
from
what kind
UEC
of progression
would be probably part of that. And if you guys are new to Answer the Call, it's we kind of made this channel new fairly recently, and the channel gets more views on the videos than we have subscribers. So a lot of you guys are coming from the original places that we posted the content. And you haven't subscribed yet. So get subscribed. We really appreciate it and helps us out a ton. So do that. Thank you. And if you want to go above and beyond, there's a join button as well. All that stuff. We appreciate you guys. The community's been growing, and it's like heartwarming to make this content every week, and it's really nice. I appreciate it. So
cheers, guys.
Overall, Croncy, now that we're in the show, how's your week been? You said you've been busy.
Yeah, a lot of work this week. I ran a Fortnite tournament at work this week, which was interesting.
Okay.
And made me appreciate people that know how to play games and know how to join lobbies and stuff like that.
What was the age demographic?
Everyone was like mid-20s or higher, or older. It was essentially like 100-person corporate Fortnite event.
Fortnite frogs are like new are like college students or like in the workforce now.
Yeah, and apparently none of them were at this event. So I had to like spend the entire time telling them not to press buttons on the controller, because inevitably everyone would mess it up and I'd have to redo everything.
Oh man.
So hey, I'm used to it now. I'm so used to making Star Citizen events where things break because of the game that now when things break because of the people, it's easier.
Yeah, true. Just don't do that, please. Bug fix.
Exactly. Yeah. Other than that, I've just been playing lots of No Man's Sky this week. Obviously, they had a big update last week.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, a couple of weeks ago, and then the expedition started last week. And it's just been a lot of fun. It's been a nice break from Star Citizen, being able to actually like play a game with some progression and stuff, which is kind of cool because it sort of leads on to what we'll be talking about today.
For sure.
Yeah, it's been dope.
Yeah, I've been doing something similar with Death Stranding, kind of going back to some sci-fi games. I mean, Death Stranding is another level of insanity, but but yeah, I've been going back and just playing that and feeling what finished games feel like, and it's I love doing that because you can just simply go, man, this works so well. It would be so cool if we had this little element in Star Citizen, that little element, things like that. So yeah, you could totally do this for when we talk about rewards as well and stuff too. I don't know. We had some interesting stuff about 4.0. Still on time apparently, and our I don't know how I feel about those comments.
Once again, it's more of a like still on target rather than on time. I don't know if that changes much for people.
Our
but it's kind of like they still, exactly.
Their intentions are to be on time. That's cute. I mean, that's like the only way to respond to that for me.
True.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, like I just responded to that with the simple yeah, your intentions have always been good. That's why you built a
Mm.
community and all these things that people really believe in you because they do believe your intentions are good. The problem is
Yeah.
your history is so bad that people are starting to be like, yeah, that's bullshit, and just move on
Yeah.
and call the bullshit for what they feel it is, whether it's true or not, and yeah, move on with their day because yeah, you've just been wrong on literally every date for the last 12 years. How can we uh believe it this time? It would be kind of stupid of us, right? So
Yeah. Plus, I imagine a lot of the sort of vitriol is coming just from the current 324 Evo. With like it sounds like with their language and stuff that we're probably close to a wave one this week, but it's been now over a month since like just over a month
yep,
since we entered Evo. It's been
yep,
very long. You know, this was the update that like it got pushed back, and I'm glad it got pushed back because it's been a mess. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it
It
would have been a
needs this
terrible
time,
state. Yeah, 100%.
right?
But yeah, it means that yeah, like all of the timelines get pushed back. I imagine in terms of like testing, right? So
hmm Yeah, you know
yeah.
what? I think this is probably a decent. I don't. You said you've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky.
Mhm.
Not to put you on the spot here, have you been doing any Evo testing or
Not
not
this
really?
week, no.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
No,
it's totally fair.
not this
Like,
week.
I don't think anybody that is in Evo needs to feel obligated to participate in it, especially when the cycle has gone on this long. I did a little bit. So I figured it
Mhm.
might be a decent time to just share a little bit of info of things that are going on.
Yep.
We were talking about right before the podcast started some mentions of Hull C fixes in the bug fixes. The Hull C
Yep.
still doesn't function at the current point in time. I played yesterday after stream and
Mhm.
did some testing. Right now, one of the positives is that Evo's open right now. You're able to, if you're in Evo, to test it right now. They're keeping it open over the weekend, which means it's stable enough that it is worth it for them to do that. So that is a
Mhm.
positive. On the my experience side is when I take a mission, I am able because when you take a mission on the right side, it'll be like, okay, there are 10 titanium boxes, and
Mhm.
each size of box that the mission gives you will have its own holographic representation on the UI of it and how many of those boxes there are. In the
Yep.
missions that are multi drop off and individual pickup, you may
Mhm.
want to work with your friends. And the best way to do that would be split in the UI, bring up what your friend is going to take, give it to them,
Mhm.
then bring up what you're going to take, and then go, right? The split option didn't work. Now it
Okay.
does. So that's
Okay.
functionality that is working and is
Mhm.
great. The search bar is now working on both things.
Sweet.
It's not great, but it's there and it
Yep.
works. And then yeah, I mean on ISC they mentioned things that we already knew about.
Mhm.
If you were in Evo and that we've talked about on the show, like armistice zones are gone, you can stand your ground in
Yep.
your hangar, things like that. The weird part about that is if you're in somebody else's hangar, you can't pull out a gun, but they could shoot you. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I will say
you're
just
in
on
someone's
ISC because
hangar.
we're probably not gonna talk much about ISC today because like you said, it's all stuff that we've already known.
It's a lot of
But it was
rehash.
most people's first look at what it is, like all the UI and all that sort of stuff working because it hasn't been shown yet. The only things that they've shown are screenshots of like super early weird builds and stuff.
That's fair.
So yeah, if you are someone out there that hasn't seen the update that we've been talking about for the last month,
Oh, wrong button.
ISC was actually pretty good.
Sorry, hold up, wrong button. On the wrong. Ah, there. And the intro's up. Oh my god. I'm on all the wrong buttons. What is this? Avenger 1? That was a long time ago. There you go.
Yep. Yep.
Guys, this is hard. Doing this is pressing a button, a singular button that literally tells you what button to press is really hard. But
Streaming may be one of the hardest jobs in the world. It's confirmed 100%.
true. Twitch streamers have said it. But yeah,
Yeah.
so you know what? That's a really good point. Is that a lot of people started? I got kind of shit on by Jared on SCL about it actually because my thumbnail was like, kind of saying the same stuff again, and he definitely didn't like that thumbnail and gave his commentary on it, which was very very cute. But the when you mention it the way you do of like watching what we just watched on the screen, yeah, nobody's seen that before, really, have they? So that's fair. And
Yeah, so it's a big deal if you didn't know exactly how it
Mhm.
worked or like what the UI and stuff looked like. But yeah, it's old to us now, which is sort of just weird with the way that we're able to talk about Evo now.
yeah, it's literally a month, like, and 4 5 weeks or something. We've been doing this. It's like kind
Yeah,
of ridiculous at
it's like
this
a
point.
month and a day, I think.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's pretty crazy. So yeah, interesting. I think actually one of the more interesting things that I didn't even know about was what they're
Mhm.
talking about here is when you're at the terminal, you could say that you're going to deliver
Mhm.
commodities, and then you put like it's creating like you literally create a mission for yourself, and then or
Yep.
like a contract actually, like we've been talking about contracts from Eve a lot on the show the last few
Mhm.
weeks. It's kind of like a miniature version of that, and then you deliver the stuff to your freight elevator to avoid having to go back and forth a bunch, which was that
Well,
was
so
a bit of new
the way
info.
that yeah, the way that they talked about it was like, oh, it was cool that this functionality is in, but I just imagine no one's going to use it because it was like you can go to the trade terminal, say you're going to deliver, then come back to your ship and like offload into
Yeah,
your hangar,
or
into
you
your
could
freight
just
elevator.
put it in your
Or you can
hangar
just
and
put it in
then
your freight
go.
elevator and then go and then come back and you're done. I guess it's the
Yeah.
same amount of movements actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I still feel like everyone will just offload into their local hangar.
Yeah, but like
Um,
logically, you're in the hangar, you will drop the
yeah,
cargo off first and secure it.
yeah,
Makes the most sense to do first, right?
hmm yeah.
So yeah. Then on was it on ISC where Jared said 4.0 intentions on
SCL,
time? It was only on
SCL.
it. I feel
I
like
believe so.
no, I feel like he mentioned it maybe last week on ISC. Is that what it is? Because on SCL he was defending his position. And to be
Right,
fair, I
right.
think he defended it fairly well. Like, hey, our
Mhm.
intentions are, and that's really it. Why did this happen again? Jeez. Um, I must have double clicked it and turned it back on. But
Mm.
yeah, like for him, he was like the intention is what we want, and again, that's fine. I don't really
Yeah,
have anything else to add to that. Your intentions are fantastic. Um, actually achieve your intentions once, and the community will trust you and believe in you and have faith in you and support you.
yep,
And that's it. You know, it's
yep.
not that
I
it's not that hard
yeah.
to
The one
understand
thing that
where we're coming from.
yeah. The one thing that that conversation has brought up this week, though, is it definitely has solidified that this is going to be a CitizenCon, like some type of release, whether it's like a PTU release at CitizenCon or, like an all waves release at CitizenCon, something like that. It seems like they are aiming for that, which also just makes sense from like a marketing standpoint. You're going to have your
The
biggest
most eyes on it at that time,
yeah,
right?
exactly. All the eyes will be on the game. Presumably, once again, we've been talking the whole year about they're probably going to show a ton of Squadron. So people are going to be like, well, I can play Star Citizen now. Cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it seems like they're going to do that. Whether they're going to make the target is going to be interesting. I think a lot of it is going to have to do just with server meshing. Like, I doubt we'll have many issues with locations or missions. Well,
We'll have issues with
super
everything.
big
Yeah.
like issues, but yeah. So yeah, I know we'll see.
Yeah. And the again, I know usually when we get to the show it's you have not yet caught up with SCL. Are you caught up this week or no? Okay,
No.
so it's all good. I'll
Yep.
the meat of the show is what we're looking on the screen, right? It wasn't much of an
Mhm.
episode to catch up on, but there were some interesting things. It was one of them was like K Jared defending his position on 4.0, which was
Mhm.
mostly valid, and the actual exciting thing is at the end of the show, he gave the next 7 or so weeks of what
Yep.
ISC content is going to be. And
Yeah, I did see this.
yeah, like that. So yeah, you're caught up on that. Like that's really the best part of the show for me was that.
Mhm.
And what it's telling is that they're not hiding anything from Pyro for CitizenCon. They may release
Yeah.
Pyro at CitizenCon, like you said, but they're
Mhm.
giving it. They're showing it all to us, and then maybe letting us play it at CitizenCon to use that hype to get more people in it or whatever. But
Mhm.
the theme of CitizenCon, doesn't look like it's going to be Pyro. You know, it looks like the theme of CitizenCon is going to be something else, maybe mostly Squadron, maybe I think things like Nix and other systems that are connected, you know.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Use your brain and go crazy with all the systems
Things
that
like
connect
base
to these.
building, but there's no way we don't see stuff about that.
Exactly.
Unless they've canned it.
You know, maybe economy stuff, so on and so forth. But what's really nice is we're not going to get a CitizenCon drought from CIG content.
Yeah, certainly doesn't see that way.
Everything he said sounded interesting. We're going to see what contested zones mean and the space locations in Pyro this coming week. We're going to see ground locations in the future. We're going to see creatures again, which might be like a whatever episode, but it still will probably be very cool, and a lot of people are interested in that stuff, so totally fine. Yeah, asteroid bases will be this coming week, we believe. He did say
non-combat content.
Oh yeah, social content. What what does that mean? I'm actually super excited for that because I think there's a huge. I'm not personally excited for it, but I think there's a huge part of the community that's what they come to Star Citizen for. So
yeah, it's an MMO. That's like one of the big appeals for everyone, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So that's going to be really good. Somebody in chat says, hopefully VoIP updates. Yeah, that would be really good for social things, right? Party overhaul, maybe org, maybe. I mean, I think that's coping a little bit. I think it's more hangout spots and safe places for people to hang out to avoid a lot of the problems that we've had in the stand system over the few years, right? Fire, engineering, MFDs, and fighting are the ones that we haven't talked about yet, because he mentioned social as like we want to bring people to Pyro that aren't just interested in fighting, and I'm like, oh damn, what are they doing to Pyro? But then he's like, dude, there's going to be a lot of fighting in Pyro, don't worry. The MFDs that we checked out a lot last week as well. So there is a lot of content that is worth paying attention to worth sinking your teeth into, and props. I'm always said that all I am is negative, and no, that's fucking awesome, and I'm really hyped for the next month or so.
Yep, it sort of also like backs what Jared has said about, you know, like them at least being on target for their like maybe predictions or whatever for 4.0. This is exactly what happened with 3.23. Is, you know, like that couple months beforehand, every ISC just ends up being about feature about the next upcoming update. Well, they're up to that now, right? So it gives a little bit more confidence, a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to 4.0, I'm sticking with my guns of you could say whatever you want, but until you put out a test preview, it's where like the speculation is real from every aspect. Like until we get in there and we see what happens on this first legitimate playtest, then I think everybody can speculate on the timelines of where 4.0 stands, you know?
Yep.
So
that's fair.
That's how my mentality is with that. Anything else before we go into Roadmap Roundup, which will lead into our calls, that comes to mind for you?
No, I think we'll go into Roadmap, but then obviously we want to talk about our own rewards before we go into calls as well. So
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, I guess that's what I meant by talking about Roadmap Roundup. Is we'll touch on what we think there. But let's go into that. So all of the stuff in this was 4.0 cards. Zeus MK2 CL. I got the deets on when the other Zeus is supposed to be in, and I forgot off the top of my head now. Was the Zeus, which one is it?
When the luxury one?
I don't remember. But when is it planned? Is it planned before 4.0? The ES.
The ES?
Yeah. Or we just getting
it's
two
also
versions
4.0.
of the Zeus at the same time now? I think
I think
both
we're getting
4.0.
two at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my understanding, at least.
So, yeah, things are moving along. That's nice. Yeah, chat saying ES is supposed to come in 4.0. So now we're getting two versions of the Zeus, which is good. Because I think people who bought the cargo version might have been like, damn, I'm not going to get the cargo version on launch. That sucks, but looks like they will. So that's great. Then acidic caves and rock caves. Yep, that's how I feel. Yep, caves.
Yeah,
Like,
they'll presumably just be reskins of the current caves, which they've talked about before. Which
and
sure, as long as you make them meaningful.
yep, but they have not made caves currently
Yeah.
meaningful. So you kind of go until you do something with caves. Don't expect me to get excited about this.
Hmm.
This stuff. Now I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
Asteroid bases from the 2022 Citizen Con. Well, I mean, that was the last time we saw asteroid bases. They probably look completely different. That
Yeah.
quantum jump and then the asteroid base was on the left. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, okay. Implementing new asteroid bases scattered across space in asteroid clusters, gas clouds, and other areas of Pyro, from exploration-type gameplay to mission-based locations. These bases include both constrained interiors for potential FPS conflicts, as well as space combat while reaching or fleeing from the location. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Sick.
then the topic of today's show. And I think, like Jared said, I'm not the hype man, but these are awesome. You've been the hype man for 12 years or whatever, man. Like, you are the hype man. What are you talking about? He is literally the hype man.
Yep.
But contested zones
Yep.
are a location feature coming to Pyro space stations, introducing FPS gameplay with various layouts tailored for this purpose. The zones will feature a progression system requiring tokens to unlock different zones, giving access to the loot inside. Collecting all of the tokens will allow a player to open the final door and claim the grand prize. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. So this just got me like all sorts of screwed up because Croncy, what am I going to say? You know what I'm going to say here.
Progression.
Yeah, what rewards and prizes do we have currently? What have you shown that this is going to make sense to anybody right now? Is the part that I'm like, what is this going to have in 4.0? So I just kind of went, what are they working on behind the scenes that they're not telling us? I'm not going to be overly negative Nancy about this. I don't think they have nothing. I think they have something that they haven't told us yet, and I can't wait to hear what it is next week, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think the prize is?
I think it's really important.
Prizes, I should say.
Yeah, I don't know what it'll be, but I think it's really important to just make sure it's not just UEC.
Correct.
So this feature, and I guess I would call it a feature rather than a mission, because it also sounds like it's, possibly part of
it sounds
new locations
sandboxy
within the space station and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like it's there, and when think the thing that I've been referring to it more like than anything, when you go to Security Post Crais and it makes things happen when you do stuff there. That's how I look at like this.
Yeah,
something building off of that.
Yeah, so it could literally be the same sort of stuff where it just spews out like rare commodities and whatnot. In which case, essentially, the prize is just that's just
You answer my question.
A UEC.
Yeah, so that's UEC. So what? So then, what do you want to see that would not be UEC then?
Unique weapons that can't be bought would be awesome.
Okay.
So think the weapons that are supposed to be coming in 4.0, presumably the multi-tool weapon and stuff. That would be sick. Those would be super, super cool prizes to be in there.
Yep.
Rare skins. I'm always keen for rare skins. I think that's a fine prize for this sort of stuff. I think there's enough incentive to do it. And for 4.0, I don't think it'll go much further than that.
Okay. I think the guns are the most obvious choice from how little we know, right, about what sort of content, I guess, is at 4.0. And I think that's really smart. It also is, you have callbacks to this in the current game, where there are rare weapons in the game right now that are hard to come by, and you have to go through some effort to get them, like railguns and missile launchers and things like that. Them doing that in Pyro does not seem like any stretch of the imagination at all. And them doing it in a different and cool way is sweet. I'm all for that. The only thing I would add on to that personally, the idea of like those guns specifically, not the Volt gun, well, maybe Volt, but the Pyro one is
the one that's like a messed up multi-tool.
Like one thing that we're starting to see them do is like attachments adding characteristics to the
Mhm.
gun, like reduced aim down sight stuff. Like what do those guns characteristics look like? Are they maybe the
Mm.
ones that we find in the contested zones might look similar to ones that you find on a at a shop? But maybe it'll be faster rate of fire or
Yeah,
less
yeah.
damage reduction at range or something like that. So that's what I would only like kind of piggyback off of what you said and add on to it.
Mhm.
The other thing is, do you remember Star Citizen Live with Elliot and Nick a couple weeks
Yeah, like
ago?
2 weeks ago or whatever. Yep.
Yeah, they mentioned the Vandal Mask in that
Yep.
show. I don't think they mentioned the Vandal Mask because they just remember the Vandal Mask event. I think they mentioned the Vandal Mask because they were probably having conversations around something similar that they have done in the past to what they want to do in the
Well,
future.
that was
You
the
know,
thing, right? When they brought it up, I think it was Elliot that brought it up. When they brought it up, it was
it
like
was Elliot. Yeah.
the question was in regards to like grinding and like working hard for like special items. So I don't
Mhm.
think it's a stretch of the imagination that it would be on their mind for this, because I imagine this is like that team is also working on this sort of stuff, right?
Yep.
Because it's mission related. It's also location related, that sort of stuff, and
Yep.
they tend to work together. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah.
I just personally have been playing lots of Eve, lots of Death Stranding. Just played a little DayZ this week with Burks, and it's the
Mhm.
first time I gave DayZ like a really solid go. And yeah, just that loop was like super fun of running around, finding stuff, uh, like very like ooh exciting, like something I can use.
Mhm.
So yes, I want the items in contested zones or anywhere in the game. I also practiced my RP as best I could
Nice.
for our thing, um,
Yeah.
which is coming up. Did we announce anything yet? Should we say anything or no?
We can leak a date. Let's leak a date. It
Let's
is
do it.
on the 17th of August, like US time.
I'm gonna play
Is
D
going
and
to be the
D.
D&D game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is it with? Me, you, Space Tomato, and Expat
Astropub and
and
Expat.
Astropup. Yeah, I
Yeah.
missed Astropup there. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. The I'm so bad at RP though. I'm nervous. I'm just gonna I'm gonna shit the
You'll
bed
be
so bad.
fine.
But yeah,
Mate, you play Star Citizen. That's way nerdier.
true, true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. That's the only thing that I would add is I would love to feel a little bit of progression with the reward,
Yeah.
but rewards can be things like Vandal Masks that are the
Mhm.
I was there reward. I was there
Yeah.
rewards are fucking awesome. And they're
Mhm.
some of my favorite things about MMOs. So for
Yeah.
me, if it's just the I was there reward, maybe not so much, because that's basically what we got from Xenothreat and
Yeah.
Overdrive, right? We kind of got the I was there reward.
Mhm.
If they do the Overdrive, you could buy this ship if you want reward. I think that's if we say anything about that, I think we all know that that's what we don't want to be in this, right? I don't think
Yeah.
anybody wants that.
As long as it's specifically because you're wording, because I want to change one thing. As long as it's not you get the opportunity to buy online, I am okay
As in game,
with a
right?
like yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you are now allowed to buy this as in game, right? That'd
Yeah,
be kind
that
of
would
cool.
be badass.
Yeah.
That would be
Um,
badass.
the one extra thing I want to talk about on these contested zones. So it says space stations contested zones. So the Pyro playtest, which was now 10 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Do you remember? You might be
uh,
bringing up the area that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
every space station had, and they talked about it a lot. And it's a very cool area where it's like you can actually like EVA into the station, and you go through like all these trash piles, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's also there's like a security section that had a mission, that had a couple of missions. That do you imagine this is going to be there, or do you think this is something else?
I don't know, but when they say space station coming to Pyro space stations, that's
Yeah,
all it could be.
unless there's just like extra location there, right?
Unless they're talking
Like,
about asteroid
yeah,
bases, you know? I think it's at like if you took and you were unfortunately not everybody was able to to participate in the pyro playtest, but if you were lucky enough to, or spent the money to, you were able to do a lot of exploring around these stations, and they are very
Yeah.
large. And
Yeah.
yeah, you come across some areas that you look at and you go, they want us to fight here, and
Yeah,
you're
like
like,
this has been designed with the like FPS level like combat design in mind, right?
Yes, and I have footage of that location, but I think the footage would be too choppy for the show, just given all the things that are
Oh,
running.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I have it up, but it's just not going to work. The like the location I'm thinking of is just like this kind of big open room, but there was like height to it, and there was ways to sneak in, and yeah, like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
lots of
the
garbage
one you might be
everywhere.
referring to, there was like derelict like sections of the
Yeah,
station
yes,
that had
yes.
like no O2 and stuff. Yeah. I could
That's
imagine this
this.
stuff could be here. Yeah.
That's this. Do you have anything else you want to touch on? Because I have like a copium take about all this.
The only other thing I'll say is the fact that they're calling it contested zones. I imagine they also probably want PvP, FPS PvP to happen in the station here, maybe.
Oh, I think this is 100% a PvEVP thing,
Yeah, yeah.
like security
Like
post Korea.
deliberately designed to be that way. Yeah,
Correct, correct. I
yeah,
feel like this is security post Korea. Like you start out with PvE, but it invites PvP
yeah. Because it'd
potentially,
also be
right?
cool as well. Like you go into this mission, it's like so someone else is already doing it. All right, cool. We rock up, we kill them, we grab their tokens, and now we've advanced like a little bit further than they did, sort of thing.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Or like we wait for them to get all of the prizes and then kill them and take
yeah,
their stuff.
yeah. Wait till they
I
get
don't
to the
know.
last room, blast them.
Perhaps that, but the crazy pie in the sky like thought process that I had here is
Mhm.
like, what's the unique thing about Pyro is all these gangs and the maybe potential power struggle between them. What if this
Yeah,
is a Helldivers Planet Side 2, you are choosing to side with a certain faction and you are contesting
ooh,
zones to gain power for those factions in those given stations, and you are pushing the power struggle between each one. Like this is out there. Like even you're laughing
yeah,
at
yeah,
me,
yeah.
you
This
know what I mean?
it's
But it's
that,
something that
feels
could
that does
happen.
not feel 4.0. That feels 1.0, right? Like
Yes,
that
yes.
feels sort of further.
I'm not saying for
Yeah.
4.0, just to be very
Right,
clear
right,
on
right.
that
But
one.
like
But
but that would still make sense. I think the
yeah.
reputation, like they've talked about wanting to get reputation into the game more heavily. They've reworked the reputation system and whatnot. So like that's feels like it could be the next step. I
Yeah.
just feel like we haven't seen anything from them for like that triggering of like changing
Yeah.
like a station changing loyalty sort of stuff
Yep.
that I would like to see. But pretty much everything else you said could happen right now.
Sure. But let's be real here. Reading this, it just seems like a miniature King of the Hill. Sounds fun though.
Yeah, but yeah,
Ki-
which hell yeah, I'm down.
yeah. I've wanted King of the Hill content for a while. I wanted Jumptown to be King of the Hill content. Kind of is, kind of not. You know what I mean?
We've done like like dynamic gameplay King of the Hill stuff before in our stream, where it's
Sure.
literally like, hey everyone, you've got a gun, no ships. Whoever has this place in 30 minutes wins.
Yeah.
So yeah, sick. Give it to us.
Yeah. Now maybe you get like a timer for how long you have it, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
it makes
yeah.
it a little bit more proper King of the Hilly. So
Mhm.
still got 4 callers in the room. Might have room for one more. So again, the topic is pretty strictly on this. What is a reward to you in Star Citizen? But
Mhm.
maybe start out specifically with contested zones. What do you think the rewards will look like in 4.0 for contested zones? And what do you think rewards will look like going forward for Star Citizen long term? Before we get to that, what are your more, just very quickly for both of us, what are your really long term? What does CIG need to do for reward systems in Star Citizen for you? What's the name one for yourself that you absolutely have to have?
My big long term one is be able to make an impact in the universe. However, whatever that means.
Okay.
If I can build a space station, cool. That's part of that. If I can, do something so big in the it doesn't mean I necessarily have to do it. I just have to be
Be
able
a
to do
part
it.
of, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm garbage at the game, so I just need the possibility to be there. If I could make such an impact to the economy, the in-game economy, that people would know that I've done it, that sort of thing. I just need to be able to. There needs to be a way for me to make waves, and however that comes about
small
could
or
be like
big.
20 different things. Yeah.
However small or big, make waves. Yeah, that's a good one. I keep looking at blueprints.
Yep.
Like blueprints being rewards for certain content, and those blueprints only being able to be got from that certain content, and maybe for a short period
Yep.
of time, things like that, where it takes players who want those items or want those blueprints and kind of maybe force them to come out of their shell a little bit and do content that they wouldn't normally do, get themselves into these PvP type scenarios where they normally wouldn't want to, right? Industry type gameplay tied to PvP type gameplay tends to make industry players and PvP players become friends.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
that's a thing as well. But yeah. So okay. Croncy, you're going to have to make a call here. 2 people came into the green room at the exact same time. We have room for 1.
Oh, they just left.
Okay, never mind. There you go. that makes it easier.
They were listening to you. They knew what was going on.
Perfect. I was like, who are we going to pick?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will also say that there's one other really big thing that just like in terms of prize, in terms of progression, is just a thing that I need to look for, which is like if I'm doing missions, I need to see that affect something, whether it's the attitude that people have towards me through reputation, and it needs to be significant, not just here is a new mission, right?
Yep.
Or the availability of unique items. Those things are, once again, like a really core part of every MMO that has ever existed.
Yes.
And it's a reason to grind, which, they were just talking about, but I think it was last week actually, right?
Yeah.
On the SCL. It's so important. Unfortunately, it is also a thing where if we're constantly doing wipes, is really hard to get in.
Yes.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But it's if that never happens in Star Citizen, I'll probably keep playing the game, but I'm gonna be really mad about it.
What do you mean never happen? If what never happens?
Like if it doesn't happen within a couple of years, rather than never happen.
What, like rare items, or they stop wiping?
No, like that meaningful progression through grinding.
Gotcha. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I need that.
Yeah.
For me personally, that's like everything for me. But yeah, you ready for callers and see what the folks think?
Let's get into it. And if you want to call next week, because we got plenty of callers today.
Yeah.
If you want to call in next week and get in a little bit early, make sure you go to either on Twitch !podcast and go to the link, or over here on YouTube live. It is pinned to the top. You can join the Discord.
All right, and we got Hudson Hawk here. Hudson, what's up, man?
Hudson,
hey, what's up?
What up?
How you going?
Oh, that's good. I want to talk about ships. No, just kidding.
Thank God.
Rewards. Aside from like the standard stuff, like special ship paints, maybe attributed subscriber gear or hangar decorations and stuff.
Start out with 4.0, like with the release of contested zones, you open the door with the final key.
Final key.
What do you want to see there? What would make your jaw drop? Like, oh my God, that's awesome.
Oh, 1 or 2 things. Maybe
All right.
like a special livery ship. That,
like an actual ship?
Like an actual ship. Nothing too crazy. Something pretty common, like a Cuddy or something with a special ship. Like, ooh, look what I did.
Yeah.
Or even something as small as like a special mission just for whoever completed that. That's repeatable and gets you some kind of small inconsequential item that's special to that particular event.
So you want to do a mission that gives you another mission that gets you an item? You would rather not just open the door and the item be there?
Well, I was just going to say that already exists in the game. That's your
Kind
bounty
of.
certs.
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
I look at it as like when I open that door, I want the like gold light to shine on my face and my eyes open wider and my smile get bigger. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what? So it sounds like ship. You did want to talk
Ship,
about ships.
ships, armor. I mean, the special mission could be just something kind of stupid. Just takes you someplace kind of special that no one else can have access to unless you have that mission.
Okay.
So yeah, just gives you like a unique experience.
Exactly.
Like the reward is an experience.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep hammering on you a little bit just because I'm the reason I find this topic so interesting is I feel so strongly about like progression through items and things like that in the game, right? And I just want to make sure that I'm not pushing my agenda on everyone else too much and just hearing what everyone else has to say. So like is the armor, let's say, that you find there, is that enough to just be something similar to like subscriber gear, but only found in game, like a unique color of a similar armor that we already have? For you, would it have to be like very unique to armor in looks? Does it just have to be looks, or does it also have to be, give you some sort of an advantage because you completed this task, or both, or one or the other? Just what do you think about that?
I would probably say something that's unique. I'm not so sure about maybe giving you some sort of benefit, but
Okay.
again, that depends if that would be attributed to your hanger or not.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I
Right.
hope nothing is ever attributed to our hangar again from this day forward. I think that system is entirely
Right.
game
So
breaking
if
personally, but
Yeah. The actual mechanics of like the online hangar is bad, but I would still like to get rewards that are permanent.
right.
Like rewards like skins that I can reapply over and over, that sort of
yes.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So if
the only reason the hanger stuff is so bad is because of what you were talking about earlier, is the wipes, and they use that to
Yeah.
counter that issue, right? In a lot of
Yeah.
ways. So we're on the same page here.
Mhm.
Well, I would say if it's not attributed to your hanger, then I would say some sort of buff would be perfectly fine, since it can be lost per
What would
se.
a buff look like? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, well, increased armor, increased ammo capacity, increased speed. or maybe
Just a
really-
random magical buff that you like drink the Fortnite juice and you have a shield, or is the
Something.
armor better than, maybe it's armor that's buffed?
armor that's
specifically.
buffed.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Like you get like a unique piece of like Mark X that has 3% extra like armor protection, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Something like that, yeah. Or it gives you increased of speed while loaded down or whatever, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's
Um,
just gonna,
It's very, once again, it's a very MMO mechanic, that sort
Yeah.
of stuff.
Absolutely.
Every time we talk about it, because we talk about it a lot, I think both Mike and I really want this stuff.
Yeah.
There is a big part of the community, or at least a vocal part of the community at the very least, that do not want those things because they think that it makes the game a bit too RPG. What do you think, Hudson?
I think it's a good question.
Because I'm okay saying they're wrong, but that's there is like people that don't want that. They really, really don't want that.
Oh, I can kind of see their argument, dude. But at the same time, if if the reward is something that everybody can get, or everyone has access to,
Mm.
and
Is it that
eventually, I
bad?
mean,
Yeah.
with duping and everything, eventually everybody will have. Well, assuming duping will still be a thing, everybody will have eventually everything, even if it's special or limited edition or whatever.
Okay. Well, let's take that and assume that duping will not be around long term, because then you don't really have a game to play if that's
Right.
a rampant thing. So we touched on what you think might be in 4.0, and I think all those things are theoretically possible, right? Special armor has more damage mitigation, that just changing a number, it's possible.
Yep.
What about long-term rewards for you? I have completed a quest line, and at the end, I get this. I have successfully, me and my org have successfully pushed back Xeno threat. I got this. What does the long term rewards look like in the game?
Uh, Probably maybe like a land claim whenever those start becoming a thing. If in
That's
the
an interesting one. Yeah.
land claim, maybe a ruined space station claim, as you were mentioning earlier, Croncy,
Mhm.
That
or
you can
just an
build.
yeah, or you can
Yeah. Yeah.
rebuild a space station, or
Mhm.
an area of space that you can call your own, so you can build your own space station.
I would even simplify it even more and be like, the components I need to build the space station can
Yeah.
only be found in rewards.
Or the blueprints I need to build the components to build my space station, right? Like you go
Yep.
real aggressive.
Yeah.
To build
Or the commodities that I need to build the components that I need to put into the blueprints.
The mission
to build
marker
the
I
space station.
need to find the blueprint to build the.
Yeah, we go all the way full circle. I complete this, and then I get a mission marker to go somewhere else, like Hudson started with. There you go. Perfect. So,
I mean, other than
I think we
that,
can
maybe
go
some
crazy with the long-term stuff, and that might be fun today.
Yeah, for sure.
maybe some special custom ships,
Yep.
to bring it back to.
I would love that. I would love that. Like
Yeah.
you're seeing the a lot of the variants
Like
of
like a-
Saber, right? Like, what if you just had the ability to buy a Saber variant that was only in game? Like, imagine that shit. Also, let me touch this real quick. Elliot said, "Can everyone stop making mission work for me? I'm trying to chill."
Get to work, Elliot. Come on,
Yeah.
bud.
what you get paid for.
I will say on the ships thing, there was like a very popular like community theory that nothing's really happened with it, but that the what's the ship that's about to come out that just got announced? The Zeus. That the Zeus like Mark 1 could be a reward in game
Ooh.
at some point, right? A ship that essentially would be trash, but kind of in the same way that Mike was talking about it earlier, is like a big I was there moment, or like a big like that big progression. I would love if they did stuff like that more often
Cool.
in the future. Yeah.
Like
That would be cool.
in Ultima Online, I have a broken piece of a build. The most valuable item I ever had was a broken piece of a wall.
Yeah.
Because there was an in-game event and a bunch of orcs destroyed a city, and that was one of your rewards. That is the most valuable item I've ever owned. It was worth like $500-$600, like on eBay or something. It was a friggin' stone. That was it. Like those, like these things are. That's MMOs. It's so dumb and goofy, but it's real. The Vandal Mask is the most valuable thing to me in anything that I have in Star Citizen. With all the bad stuff that happened around it, that is still the most valuable thing to me in the game because it has sentimental value. I was there.
That just made me think, what if it would be a great way for them to bring back Port Olisar, so everyone can like a mission set where you loot a piece of Port Olisar?
That would be amazing. Mission that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Yeah. But
or one of the rewards in the long distant future, you can claim Port Olisar as your own.
Elliot, Croncy.
Sorry, Elliot's telling me to stop.
Yeah. But
anything else, Hudson?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, I think this is a good start to this conversation today. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Just telling us people are going to have some fun ideas, and I'm glad we started with you, Hudson. So thank you. And Hudson's in my org, so let's go 30K Inc. We rock.
Let's go.
30K.
Yeah, let's go, man.
Cheers, Hudson.
Catch you soon.
See you.
Bye now. All right,
and very funny. All of last week, we were asking the callers not to design the game. This week, we're asking them, "Hey guys, if you could design the game, give us your prizes."
I think last week I also had the revelation of like, I need to stop being a fucking idiot about that and just chill and let people have some fun. So yeah.
And speaking of letting people have some fun,
this is me learning and growing and all that. But yes, speaking of having some fun, Dark First time caller, I
Yes.
think, right? Welcome.
Yes, first time. Thank you.
Welcome.
07, everyone.
Oh,
I hope
07.
my English will be good enough.
Of course.
Yeah, sounds good
Yes.
already.
I will have two subjects for today. First, the subject of the day will be the reward.
Mhm.
If you go to loot that place and you find a secret or just a real hidden armory, you can find really good loot. You can find guns. You can find blueprint for that gun. You go back with that blueprint. You choose with who you will get ally. Maybe the duster, maybe the anybody, and they will start to print those guns. And now you get a really good place to get your FS9, your sniper rifle, your legendary armor. That will be great.
Go ahead, Croncy.
I was just gonna say, so you're kind of saying, like, what if the reward for the contested zones thing was kind of like what Mike was saying before, where it's like you're fighting for, like, one faction or the other, but then the reward is then you're able to, like, essentially
Manufacture
procure
their
fancy
versions?
things, manufacture things from them. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yes.
Very cool.
And with that, because you cannot buy an FS9 anywhere, but if you have the blueprint, you can choose with who you ally with, and now you have it.
And maybe the FS9 for the Ninetales has unique characteristics to the FS9 from the Headhunters or whatever, right? And then you have
sort of
kind of
makes you
different
decide
experiences.
who you want to go for. Yep.
Exactly. Maybe different ammo types, like simplified
Shoot
that way.
faster.
Yep.
Or
Bigger
different skill.
magazines. Like
that would
whatever.
be so cool.
Yeah, that would be so awesome. And then if you really like kind of design the game out a little bit, then the certain FS9 might be used for this certain scenario, and that's why I would want to go do this mission for these guys to get that thing so I can experience this other thing, right? That's very MMO of you. I like it.
Even you can have a ship component, maybe you have a better capacitor, you have a little bit, two more shot every time. It would be great too.
Yeah. Those are the ones that always scare me a little bit. And I think it scares a lot of the older, more hardcore PvP part of the audience, because they very strictly want to keep skill the decider. And they always get very defensive when you ever bring up, I earned something in game and it gives me better stats. I mean, we have components in the game that give you better stats. So I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it's got to be a video game, so we got to have some give and take there. But I'm in your corner for that stuff, as long as it's not extremely overbearing on the moment I put this thing on, I win. We can't have that.
No, you see, I have to be close. Maybe if all ship become just with civilian component, and if you have to have better component, you have to be an ally with Earthstone maybe and get a military component from them.
Yeah,
would be great too.
Now, if you have any other ideas on the future and the far off stuff that might happen, like we've been discussing now, let's park that for a second. We can come back to it. What do you think you're going to see in 4.0? Because I don't think do you think we're going to see blueprints in 4.0?
I don't know. 4.0 would be.
I mean, they were at SaltEMike 12 months or so. It's possible, but I'm putting it out there for you.
4.0 will be really great because it will be probably the first real version of Star Citizen with all stall engine all around it. No more CryEngine tech on it. Everything new. You can go farther from that. That's also my second subject. My tinfoil theory adds that in 2018, when the Crytek lawsuit incoming, they have to scrap the game completely and just start from scratch. That's when they start the Squadron 42 to develop the new engine on it. And now that Squadron 42 is nearly complete, they have to be sure that no line of code of Crytek is inside the Star Citizen, because they cannot have the two together in the same time. So they have to build Star Citizen from scratch, and now they nearly complete. the future will be bright. That's a really good news for that.
Yeah, I do think it's kind of funny. There's still probably a lot of old code and
Of course there
spaghetti
is.
stuff from the old
Yeah,
days. though.
they don't have to have no code the same or anything like that. It's not that extreme. But yeah.
But
Man, at least that will be explaining why in Constellation the little table you can bring from the floor doesn't work anymore. That's they redone everything in the back, so they don't just not put back that little table. She's not important. That will explain so much why they take so long. They are not stupid. They are really bright people there, and why it takes so long. You have no news. You have no back-end news for so long and now everything's come really quick, and for sure will not be easy, and we can see it in 3.24. It's so hard to fix everything, and they work hard, but we can see the future now, and it's so bright. That's such the good news.
Yeah. To bring us back to the topic, specifically with prizes or like progression in 4.0, what do you see?
Oh, the progression. I hope I can keep my ships for long. Right now, what I love to do is go to my to recall panel with my vulture, and I keep my vulture alive for so long, he become dirty. And you can even have difficulty to see outside from the window. I like that I can just keep my ship along, repair it, coming back. If you have problem, you can call someone, bring you back. That will be great. Having an attachment on your suit, on your ship, something keep for long. That would be great.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no arguments here at all.
Yeah.
Also, maybe I don't know how the reward can go. They can do. He can just copy some other game at that point.
Maybe, but I don't know. I just look at these contested zones as one of the first elements that we're seeing them make.
Because after all, Star Citizen can be can be the game of the game. It can be a battlefield. It can be anything. I would like to see what was the name of the big the mission. It looked like a bit of like Battlefield on the Crusader.
Theaters of War. Siege of
No,
Horizon.
we're just talking Siege of Horizon.
Yes, Siege of Horizon. That mission was so cool. It's just sad that the server didn't help her at all, but that was so much fun.
Yeah.
I will say the way that they're talking about contested zones, it reminds me of two specific things. One, just the way that you play Sea of Thieves, which is obviously another sandbox game that doesn't really have much in the way of progression, but you will log on just to do I can't remember what they're called right now, but like treasure hunts that are essentially the same thing. Go unlock a bunch of stuff, get some more loot to unlock more stuff to get more loot, and then you end up with just like a crazy amount of loot that you get to go sell. At the same time, is this not also essentially what raids will be? I imagine that they talked about last year when they showed us a little bit more in depth of the distribution centers. The description for contested zones sounds a lot more
sounds
like
very
that.
similar.
Yeah, so it's more of bringing in these things that you are playing a sandbox, but here you've got a self-contained activity you can do if you want. There you go.
Yeah, and at the same time, that would be great. Did you have any kind of the feeling good about the game? You want to go every day just to if you have a base, you have to do something. Just take your crate out to not maybe have to play for 2 hours, but just connect for 10 minutes and do your thing, and at least have to connect every day. That's a good game.
Agreed. Like, I think games try to do like daily goals and things like that to try to force you to play, but games that do that organically are the best, man.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you're at work or you're doing something else and you're thinking about what I have to do when I get on the computer. What's the first thing I need to do? That's a good game, dude. That's a good game for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Dark, I gotta say, we're kind of getting off the beaten path a little bit again. So if there's anything else you want to add on the contested zones rewards or anything, now would be the time. But if not, we'll let you go and go to the next caller.
I will let you go.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming.
Yeah,
It was
cheers
really
for
good.
coming on.
Appreciate it. First time caller. We appreciate you, and we hope to hear from you again soon, man.
Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, cheers, Doc.
Bye now.
Catch up.
That was fun. Yeah, I just real quick. I don't normally do this, but the person got really upset. It seems we had a raid on Twitch, and we were right in the middle of the conversation. So, thank you, Hex, for the raid. I appreciate it, but I'm sorry for not calling you out and cheering in the moment. But we're on a podcast. Yeah. The podcast is the focus, and it's not that I don't appreciate the raid. I don't thank any subs or bits or anything like that during the podcast usually. So, yeah, we like the podcast to be the podcast. So, all right. Quams is coming up next. We got Quams. Quams, can you hear us?
Hey, yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Hear you loud and clear.
I can.
Awesome. I'm on a hotel Wi-Fi, so you never know what comes out of it.
Understood.
Fair enough.
So yeah, it's been a while, Mike. I don't even remember me. 1.5 years ago.
Of course, I remember you.
Now there's a bright light somewhere up in the north. That's my red hat.
No, and as soon as I heard your voice, I remembered you. But I had your because you're on different mic or something like that. I had your volume up super high, so I just brought you down to normal. You sound good.
Oh, okay, good. Awesome. Yeah. I know I haven't been around for a while. I'm lurking a lot, but a lot of work, being a bit out of Star Citizen, and then Sundays when I'm in my normal home, I'm just listening in while doing a walk. But I'm traveling, and I'm only 1.5 hours behind you, Mike. So different time these times.
Yeah,
right.
it's all good. But let's talk about contested zones. Let's start out with the 4.0 stuff. Yeah. What do you think the first things we'll see with these rewards wise?
I have to be honest. When you said, the door will open, there will be bright lights, and bells and whistles and a choir singing, and then you see a pirate Pico.
Pirate Pico.
Blush Pico.
I'd take it. I'd be keen.
I gotta say, I mentioned Security Post Crais. I was the same level of excited for Security Post Crais content as I am for this. But when I actually jumped in and started doing the Security Post Crais content, you see a basketball come up and you laugh and you're like, okay, troll. You see the drugs come up and you're like, all right, I get it. We make some money. What's this rare, unique item? And then it was a fucking Pico that had a little bit of inventory in it. It was like, damn.
Yeah,
so even though rare things are cool, it does pose the question, if that didn't do it for me, is rare stuff enough? At least right now,
I guess.
Am I stuck on the idea of it needs to make me better in some way? It needs to be a badass reward. I don't. Maybe for me right now, I don't know.
Honestly, I'm as you know, I was never Ultima Online. For me, it was WoW for almost 15 years exclusively, and I'm a bit with you there. I'm not that keen personally now.
WoW
looking
is
at
gear focused, right? As somebody who never played WoW,
exactly. It's super gear focused. But also nice looking gear and cool stuff. And I look at the whole thing like, hey, I don't want to get gear out of this thing. I'm really with you, Mike, with a part of hey, I want to get something out of that thing that tells me, hey, you've been there, you've done that thing. You have the memory of it. You were there, you're there, and if it's cool gear as well. I mean, it's Star Citizen. Next time the elevator kills you, your gear is gone anyway. Or you have what happened to me a week ago. Is suddenly the ground jumped up at me because there was a desync, and instead of landing, I basically stuck my my ship into the ground. No, and then what you carry is gone. So Star Citizen is a little bit. It's not good to get attached to the things you have. So something like a pain, something that is more into minds. I'm actually pretty curious. When I watched the ISC almost right when it came out, and I was like, hey, this is weird. This is not so Star Citizen thingy, but also it is Star Citizen thingy. And I was like, okay, I catch tokens, I get something, and I'm a little bit on that short term on the 4.0 part. I'm like, hey, you know what? CIG, surprise me. And then I can rant, or I can jump up and down and be the happiest Star Citizen players in Europe, you know? Or
Fair.
both.
I think the surprise would have to be pretty big in order for it to be a surprise. You know what I mean, though? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually the point. I mean, some of the guns are cool looking. I mean, after the reset, I run around with some of the Luminaria stuff, and I really like it when I have something colorful or just cool looking special thingy. But the point is, you just lose it. You just lose it too fast. That's the thing. It's something goes wrong and it's gone, and so you don't get attached to it, or you get too attached to it and say, I know I can't carry that. I mean, it's that red, whatever is so cool. I don't carry it because I lose it, you know? So I'm mixed with that part when it comes to weapons or stuff. I hope that, you know, with all the blueprints, ideas that are hopping around, that it goes more in that direction. So I'm really more interested in the second half of the topic today, if that's okay for you.
Of course you are. Everyone is. That's why we're sticking to the 4.0 one.
Yep.
Puff on your copium. All right, let's go. There we go.
Suck my face off. There you go.
All right, go.
Mike, last time I was here, we actually talked about cargo missions and things, and it was way before everything happens. I would like to see, when it comes to mission as an industrial player, a lot more connection between the reputation gains, the mission it gets over, maybe the special missions you get cleared for, things you can do to change your ship, things you can wear, things that make you a bit more. Just take the fly and relax mission thingies. Take the delivery missions. I mean, this is something I do every once in a while. You know, I have a shitty day at work, long video conference, because half of my team is in the Americas and I live in Europe. And like, oh, you know what? I just switch that off. You know, get the joysticks out and just deliver 5 packets for 2 hours and then be happy about it. But think about if you get into the mission system where your reputation enhances, and the more you'll get better with one of the delivery services, you get a livery for your C8. Yeah? So then you look like an FTL driver. You get missions that require you more quick timer missions, or in a more dangerous environment, and that gives you a special way to buy you an armor that has whatever faster than light travel thingy, or even go so far. Let's think about taking C8, and you could a Pisces, and you could make a modification that you have shelves on the side, so that you don't have to stack the bloody boxes on top of each other, and then they attack you.
Some like some Hull shelves, or you mean inside? Because I'm thinking of a C8
on the outside,
just massive Hull wings.
No, I thought on the inside, you know, but on the outside it's even cooler. You know, I can put the boxes and they don't attack you anymore. And you can go that even further for in all the industrial part, which you know, something tangible, something like, hey, I can do this. Again, different missions, different timers, different rewards, different payouts, different look. That would for me would make the part of the game a lot more. Or you know, you're out with your vulture and you're scrapping up 550 various. You know, you clean up a battlefield, and afterwards you get this cool paint where I say, hey, I've been there, or you know, maybe something when you are doing bounty hunter missions and fighting, that you actually get, you know, I shot down the number of planes, I did the number of missions on your fighter. You know, on the outside, it's already there. You can see it.
Do you remember doing bunkers and at the locations that you could clear crime stat, when you can clear crime stat at multiple security bunkers? They had the little safe with the just shield of the UEE or whatever. It's like little stuff like that for completing bounty missions of like, you're a gold star bounty hunter, you know, and like you have this prize to show your your success, you know? And
Yeah.
like I hit rank
Or
1
go-
in bounty hunting
Yeah.
rep, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that too.
Or maybe go to pyro stuff. You're doing multiple missions for one of the you work for one of the crime gangs, and if you're good enough and you enter the bar, the bartender calls you up by name.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So
touching on what you mentioned about
yeah.
like, you know, the unique ships and you know, yeah, having a C8 with shelves and stuff.
Yeah.
The one thing I would really love to see, and it's sort of similarly related to that, is when we watched the Squadron 42 video last year, they had that I'm calling it the Cutlass Gold, that had like a bunch of like, you know, Christmas lights and stuff hanging all around it and whatnot. And it looked like it was super bastardized and messed up and whatnot. I would love that stuff to be put into Star Citizen. And I think I would prefer it to be a reward rather than something we can just get off the bat. And I feel like that's, you know, that's sort of in that world that you're talking.
Yeah. Yeah. And that directly also pipes into, I love the idea of the first caller. I think it was Hudson. Yeah, he said, hey, I get a blueprint that enables not myself to do stuff, but enables me to buy that particular item at one of the factions, one of the gang, one of the manufacturing companies. I think that would make, for me, that's more of a living thing. I'm sort of resigned myself, and I think it's also good because that was far too much time I spent in WoW hunting for specific armor items and stuff. I'm resigned myself a little bit. Okay, Star Citizen items is something, don't grow attached to them, but maybe the possibility to get an item, you know, that's that is something where my gamer and I'm a bit older, you know. I like to be relaxed. I'm an industrial player. I do my ERTs every once in a while, but
but even that I would consider relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to bring this up just because it just came up on the YouTube chat, and I think it's actually the best idea I've seen, or one of the best ideas I've seen about a reward. A one-use call emergency beacon if you have full rep that calls in faction NPC support ships for a period of time.
Badass.
That's awesome.
That would be sick.
Badass.
That
would be badass. Yeah, but it's exactly, you know, that's exactly down the road where, and I don't think actually all the stuff we're talking about, I mean, Elliot might get a stroke right now, but all the things that we're talking about, I don't think they're that mega complicated. I mean, there's a lot of work. There's always
things
programming.
That we're pulling from other video games that we've experienced. These things are not impossible to do. They just seem impossible by CIG because they haven't prioritized doing them. It doesn't mean that they can't, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'm getting you there, Elliot. I'm getting you there. You can get your stroke. Anyway, no, I really like this. Before I hop off, can I have one question with regard to the freight elevators and stuff? Because I'm a bit curious. It's really quick.
Yeah, sure.
And you being Avocadi. You know, I'm doing a lot of panels, you know, salvaging panel stuff, and because it's really relaxing. I mean, there's nothing more relaxing than just painting away things and pull them in.
I'll let you know I've done zero salvage in Evo because you assume that it works the same.
No,
just making sure.
That's only the start. But if I have, you know, if my vulture and I'm close to whatever blah blah L1 L2 station, is it something like where I say, okay, I return with my vulture, I call a freight elevator on a hangar there, you know, put my stuff on the freight elevator, store it there, go out again, back and forth until I have a C1 full of cargo, and then can unload it and fly it to an TDD?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, you could do that. The only limitation you have to not... Okay, so the hangar that you get is temporarily your hangar. The location inventory is yours. So currently in Evo, I imagine these numbers are going to change. Currently in Evo, every single location that you go to, you are capable of storing 1,000 SCU at every location. You just have to put down the freight elevator. That's it. You put it down the freight elevator. It is now yours at that location. The hangar, and if anything you store inside the hangar sitting around, once you leave, that shit's gone. So you got to put it down the freight elevator and store it. Yeah.
Awesome. And now I can close the loop, and then I'll give a little bit of time for the next caller. The loop is back to the reward. What about you as a reward for doing cool stuff, for maybe you defend, maybe you're a blockade runner for one of the blocked stations, and they give you more space.
That would be a very logical, awesome reward.
Yeah, once again, a very typical MMO reward is inventory slots.
Inventory slots, not just a reward.
Oh no, we don't
like
need inventory in MMOs. Come on,
a buy on the website.
No, but that is inventory. Like how much you can store.
I'm joking.
Yeah,
I make a joke. Sorry, Mike, I interrupted you.
No, dude, come on. I'm the king of interrupters. If I got mad about being interrupted, that would be insane. No, it's fine.
All right.
But inventory would be a fantastic one. And sorry if we stole any future callers one, because that is a very common MMO trope. But Quams, it's been great.
Yep. Mike,
thank you for calling in. It's been a while.
Nice talking to you the first time. It's been a while.
Quams,
hopefully not so long until the next time.
Quams is a regular caller on the old iteration of Answer the Call.
Yeah.
So
it took a little bit of warming up to get you used to me, obviously.
Yeah.
I had to sniff you out. It was this funny Australian. I was so used to the Florida man, and now I was Aussie. Oh, yeah. No, I'm joking.
Look at this guy being nice. What is this? It's weird.
Cheers, Quams.
All right, Quams.
Yeah,
talk to you soon, brother.
It was awesome. Talk to you, man. Take care.
Bye. Oh, that was funny. I don't think I put Quam's name up on the thing the whole time. I just realized that I was trying to turn it away and it wasn't there. But our next caller, Crais.
Crais, how you doing?
Hello. Oh,
you there, Crais?
I saw him light up green, but I don't know.
Crais.
There we go.
Do
Hello.
you hear me all right?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yep, can hear.
Awesome. So, yeah, you said it right, Crais.
Perfect.
Really, really excited to be here. First time calling.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, we're excited to have you.
Yeah, man.
So, really, really glad when you started playing Eve, Mike. I've been playing Eve since 2008, so I was really excited. I hope you get as much enjoyment out of that game as I did.
I really am. Like, it is so overwhelmingly being thrown so many things at me all at once, and it freaks me out. But every single thing that is thrown at me, when you look at it, you pay attention to it, you're reading the description of how it all works. It's God, it compares so well to Star Citizen in so many ways. It's been really enjoyable to just be like, yeah, it just lets you know that if and when CIG gets over their tech hurdles, if they want to, they can do something amazing. It just comes down to what their priorities are, what they want to do, what their vision of the game is. But there are some very clear, amazing styles of gameplay out there that CIG can pull inspiration from that are just super smart and make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why that keeps me coming back is, like, I see the potential that Star Citizen has, and
100%.
Talking about 4.0 and going into like the rewards and things like that. For me personally, I'm kind of the opposite of you, Mike. We're both industrialists at heart, but I am very much a ship guy.
Okay.
I still probably have about 90% of the ships in Eve memorized.
Awesome.
Jeez.
Because I was a low-level FC and corp leader and all of that. So
you got to know that.
I mean, when you're running through nullsec, you need to be able to look at something and go, "Oh, that's a Kronos. Yeah, can't take that. Leave."
Yeah.
But so for me, it needs to be modules. Like, it really
interesting.
I need my Navy guns. I need a power plant that,
Let me stop you for a second. Just because you're doing an Eve thing, for the Star Citizen fans, a module means guns, quantum drive, shield components, things like that, not the modularity of ships like the Redeemer, Reclaimer, or whatever, Retaliator. So, yes, go ahead, Crais. I'm sorry about that, but I figured I needed to jump in and just make sure people weren't like, modulars? Like modular ships?
Yeah, no. Yeah, sorry. Slipped into Eve there for a second.
All good.
Different gun. That's just like averages because, in the UEE, you would have what's available to the general public, which is what we got now. But then there's the UEE isn't going to let somebody go. The size 7 that's on a javelin, like a Navy javelin, isn't going to be as a size 7 that you put on your javelin.
Yeah, you would expect it to be like more tuned and more actually designed to go absolute full performance, bring out whatever you can from it.
Yeah,
Right?
lots of money and research put into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also like blueprints, things like that, make it so that there's a special habitation module that lets me have a larger power reactor for running. Maybe the base one you're able to run 3 modules per power plant, and now you're able to run 5.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, now again, you started off saying for 4.0. I think that is the more of the beyond stuff.
Yeah,
what do you think you're
that's-
going to get in this initial release, especially considering they say FPS? Our FPS type missions, do you think they're going to reward us ship-based stuff? They could. Like I mentioned earlier, I like the idea of an FPS mission kind of bringing the ship people over to do stuff they may not always want to do, because then it makes people work together.
Or to trade between the two communities, right? Yeah.
Exactly, right? So there's that as the possibility, but for the 4.0 initial release of these, what do you think when you open that door, the grand prize looks like?
It's probably going to be pieces of a suit or a gun that goes with an entire set.
That's an interesting take. Did you hear that little part of that he said? Pieces of a suit. All of a sudden, contested zones are replayable. I am building a whole set of armor all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Badass.
I mean, it sounds like they've built multiple of these stations. So they want you to go to multiple of these stations. The only thing that they really have that is going to make you want to go to each of those sections is you go here for your arms, you go here for your legs, you go here for the chest piece, and then here for the helmet. And that gives you about 4. And then, if it's a medium set of armor, that's 2 weapon slots. So with a set of 6 locations, that basically gives you the full set of armor and undersuit and then a weapon.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't be surprised if in that situation that you're like constructing now, that the specific prize is not guaranteed. There's different levels of the prizes as well, right? Different rarities, different skins of each prize. It's likely that once again the way that they're talking about it, likely not going to be designed for solo play. Not saying you're not going to be able to solo it, but it sounds like this is more of a party activity.
Perhaps,
So, like, once again, that increases that again, that you're going to want to play them more and more again. So, yeah.
The only thing I would piggyback off of that is there are multiple stations. So some of us have played the Pyro playtest. Again, not everybody has. There are a number of Pyro stations. Those stations are run by different factions. So instead of the arms being gotten at this station and the legs at another, what I think will be more likely is that every time you do the mission, you have a chance to drop one of those items. Maybe one of one of those suit items is the rare one that's really hard to get. It's like the chest piece, but it is specifically skinned to the people who own that station or something, right? So you're farming the headhunters one because that's the armor you want. Now, I asked other callers, is this strictly something that could be cosmetic for you in 4.0, or do you think that armor needs to be like better than other armors? And, if I lose it, other people really want to loot that. I become a target when people see me using that armor. They're following me out of the station. What do you think is in 4.0? Strictly cosmetic, or does it give you some power?
4.0 probably cosmetic, but
Okay.
what I'm going to add the caveat as they have mentioned that they're going to add things where it's like, pocketed and things like that you can add to your suits of armor. So what you might be looking at is that the base armors are going to be relatively close, but different styles might have different like pocket slots. And what I could see them easily doing is taking that and it's like, it looks cooler now. But in 2 to 3 years, instead of having 2 pocket slots on the chest piece, it has 4.
Yeah, I mean, they've even spoken in that same conversation around there being different levels of armor from, you know, common to all the way up to legendary, right? So you can really take, like, if they're strictly doing armor rewards, let's just say for this example, I mean, there are a lot of options that can be there when you open that door, right? So
yeah, it's nuts the directions that they would be able to take most of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I am still writing on some of the things said at CitizenCon. I have much less faith on them at this point in the year than I did in October last year, but specifically around the armor, it's still I am still holding the line, as Twitch chat is making fun of me for at the moment. I'm still holding the line on some of that stuff.
Yeah, my main thing is usually, you know, just I'm always a 50-50 guy, so it's like, they'll get to it. But as long as most of the features get in, I'm usually content. Or as long as it's like a logical reason. Like when they kicked the cargo stuff out of 323 to 324, was I disappointed? 100%, because I was really looking forward to that. Because that is 100%. The people who say that there's like nobody that wants to sit there and load a ship, I will do it.
They're just speaking when people say nobody, we all do that. Or when I don't want to speak for everybody, I just did it. I just did the thing. When I say nobody, I mean I don't want to, and that's what I think a lot of people say. It's just like a way people speak nowadays for some reason.
Yeah, the all-inclusive I.
Yeah,
the all-inclusive we.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we don't want to. It's like, no, I don't want to, but I want to move that cargo. I've had so much fun in Evo with it. It's been great.
Yeah. It makes me giggle, especially when the org that I'm in, a lot of the fighter pilot guys were complaining about it. I'm like, you fly nothing but fighters. When are you messing with cargo?
Yeah.
No.
Like, what are you mad about? You don't need to do this. It's fine. Like, there will, as the game grows, they're going to develop content that you aren't interested in, that other people are, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. You just stay in your lane if you want to. And what you need them to do is develop each of those lanes and make them as interesting, as fun as possible, so you can stay in your lane and you don't feel like, damn, 324 comes out, the only thing that's cool is cargo, or the only new thing is cargo, so I have to check that out. And be very careful. Everybody who's listening to the show, you're obviously following content creators. When you hear content creators saying that, especially when they're PvP content creators, you have to recognize that they're like, shit, I actually have to cover this thing that I don't want to, because it's, in this specific case, it's been like 4 months of nothing, and the only thing they have to be like, oh, new stuff is cargo. So I can understand their frustrations, but just know where they're coming from with that. Is they're like, damn, like nothing for me, that sucks. But to be fair, ships are getting a lot of master mode stuff. So yeah, it's if you're hearing that from content creators, that they are not speaking for the general community on that subject whatsoever. They're speaking for themselves.
Yeah, I know,
myself included, right?
But
I speak for everyone.
Of course, Croncy. Of course, that's why you're here. You are. Yeah, you're just.
I know what everyone wants, and everyone agrees with me.
Exactly.
That's what's crazy.
No, but more things 4.0. I am excited for the first jump point.
Hell yeah.
I am so excited.
That's the reward. That's the grand prize, actually.
Yeah, that's the grand prize.
Yeah, the reward is the patch releasing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
but like it's those moments, right? Like if the game can create, like the first time we go through a jump point is gonna, well, some of us already went through jump points, didn't we, Mike? The moment a bunch of us go through our first jump point, is, I imagine, going to be absolutely insanely cool moment. A reward can just be them creating more of those moments. It sort of maybe goes a little bit earlier to what we were saying with I think it was Hudson, with like experiences. The rewards can just be that. Yeah. And then that's a sense of progression, right?
Sure. I would always argue that that's not enough, given the state of the last 12 years or whatever. Like, you got to give something tangible, but the experience can be a big part of that. Like just going back to the Vandal mask, it wasn't just the mask reward that is what I remember. It was the experience. The mask makes you remember the experience. The mask ties you to that experience. You know, and that's what that's all about.
Yeah, and kind of leeching off of that point with the Overdrive initiative, when they gave us like everybody was like, just give us the helmet, like the one special helmet. And they were like, well, we'll give you a set of medium Xenothreat armor. And it's like, I don't even need to wear that helmet. I would just like it mounted on a thing above my desk.
Yeah. And that's what, I mean, given hangers and that's what we're going to do eventually. They're going to give us the tools to do that. We just don't have them yet.
Yeah. And, I had one more thing about about what was brought up with like pyro. The ruined the asteroid stations. And
the asteroid bases,
yeah, the asteroid bases. When we're talking about like 4.0, when it comes out, is going to be so special for more than just pyro, but also because of the things that we know about and don't know about. But a lot of those experiences where it's going to be like, you do it for the first time, everybody's going to remember the first time they do those asteroid bases, because it's also the first time
they work.
We'll
remember them regardless.
If they don't.
Yeah. If they don't work, we'll remember them for bad reasons. But I am agreeing with you, Crais.
Yeah. So it's like we're gonna remember 4.0 at the very least is going to be Star Citizen's most memorable patch.
Yeah,
there is no doubt in my mind that is going to be true for any number of reasons.
Yeah. Specifically because there's more people here than ever before. Many of the people that are here never experienced 3.0, which was a very similar level of a very similar level of insanity, of just like, whoa, this game is nuts. So yeah, but Crais, I think we kind of went off the path again, so we'll probably call it here for your call, but I appreciate you calling in, and it was a really good time, and I enjoyed the conversation even no matter where we went, so thank you for it.
Yep, anytime. Glad to call in, and I'll catch you later.
All right, man, be good.
Catch you later.
Bye now. All right, and then
I'm not about to go put this back up. I just need to make sure it's not broken.
Yeah, go for it. And we'll ooh, is it good? Yeah, nice. And then I'll take this time. I walked away for a second because if you notice me walk away, Emmy's watching the Olympics, and I don't know if you could hear the sound come through the mic, but I was like, what? She just made like a crazy sound. I was like, what the fuck was that? And some girl fell off the pommel horse or something, and that's what it was on the Olympics.
Right.
She was like, and I thought it was her, like something happened to her. Oh my gosh, I just jumped up.
Poster fell down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I thought something happened to her. It scared the crap out of me. So apologize for getting up. It wasn't my normal bathroom break. I have not had anything to drink on purpose. All right. Coolology is next, our final caller for today. And I will actually put up the name this time because I haven't put up a name since Quams. Sorry about that.
Is it Coolgy or Cool Guy?
It's just Coolgy. Yeah, sorry.
Did
guys.
I say Coolology? Like,
yeah, you said Coolology, which is like some sort of...
did I just add to the name?
You're discovering something, Mike.
You know what? I was thinking about morphologists or something. I don't know. That was weird. Coolgy.
Welcome. Sorry. Hello. Not welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
I'll
start the show.
Yeah, I'll quickly introduce myself.
New host.
By the way, the previous caller, I am that guy that won't ever move a box. Like,
okay,
if I'm ever caught in space without a tractor beam, I'm logging out. I don't care. I'm just gonna try again tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be better. I'm waiting for 2.0. Anyways, guys, the previous caller brought up a lot of good points. He actually stole a lot of good points that I was going to talk about, specifically with blueprints and equipment, and But I do have a lot of things to talk about. So specifically, Croncy, do you have the Vandal mask? Because I know Mike does.
I don't. I don't believe it
was it before your time.
Yeah, I think it was before my time, or at the very least, was like right at the start, so I wouldn't have been.
Did you get the ones that you can just like loot in the boxes, or did you not even bother with that?
I don't even think I bothered with that event.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I thought you were asking me.
Either of you, yeah. But Croncy specifically.
I was gonna get into that because I'm actually really salty. I didn't get a mask because last October I spent like 50 hours looting 2,000 chests and outposts in Orson Islands, and I never got it. Meanwhile, my guild, we did like a 3v3 PvP arena on the Orson Islands, and some guy just looted a box and he got it. So like, I was so mad that I'd spent, and I even after that I grinded, I never got it. So when we talk about rewards, like the gameplay has to kind of make sense, right? Like,
yeah.
I did not enjoy that event, and I hope they never do something like that again, where there's no like pity almost for people like me.
No, I like the idea of okay, so like the last caller with the armor options. So like there is a reward there. Maybe it's really hard to make a set, right? But there was a reason why the original Vandal mask, everybody cheated it because it was really hard to get and they weren't going to get it, and they found a way to get it without doing it, right? I did not participate in getting the Vandal mask the third time, which is the one that you're talking about. I've gotten it twice. That was insane. Like the interacting with inventories, the just random super low value chance of finding these things. It was not great. And yeah, I don't want them to do that either. And I don't want to open go through the process of contested zones. And it seems like it's a quite involved process. And the grand prize is nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, it could not be what I wanted, but it can't be nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Well, for the rewards to have meaning, they have to hold some sort of value, right? Like Mike holds sentimental value for his Vandal mask.
Yep.
Well, unfortunately, sentiment isn't a value in the game, right? Like it holds sentimental value to you,
yes,
but it doesn't help make the game better. So,
okay, so
I disagree with that.
No. Let him cook, because I'm going to say, so you're more along the line of it's got to give you some power. Are you that type?
No,
Is that what you mean?
Okay,
Okay,
no, it's fine that it's rare, but the gameplay loop needs to make sense to get it to be a game, not just I killed 50 people. Like that's not really gameplay to me.
Okay, what were you going to say, Croncy? Because that was amazing.
Oh, I was just going to say I disagree with like the sentimental rewards don't make the game better. I think that's completely inaccurate. There's so many examples of games that I've played that I've gotten a reward that has literally like no powerful value. It's literally, as we've mentioned a couple of times and a couple of our callers have mentioned, just like an I was there item that like has made the experience more enjoyable for me.
Absolutely, and I was going to elaborate more on that. Like,
yeah, give an example.
The value will go up if the game is good. Like, if nobody's playing Star Citizen because it's a dead game because there's no gameplay,
of course,
it doesn't actually hold any value, right?
Of course.
So that's what I mean. Where like, yeah, like I like the idea of the Vandal mask. I like that it's rare. I did not like the gameplay revolving on how you got it.
Even kill 50 unique players you didn't like.
Well, because the game isn't a game right now.
What if it was? What if it was and it was still kill 50 unique players?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be kind of cool, like an achievement reward or something like that. But
okay,
I'm thinking more like if we think about the IC where he I forget the game director who came over from the shooting game. What's the single player game?
Squadron? You're talking about Rich Tyrer, I'm guessing?
Yes. He mentioned that they had gotten spawn closets working in Arena Commander. And immediately what I thought about was, they're going to start doing raids. Like they're going to start pushing raids into Arena Commander, test them there, and really push for some sort of actual gameplay loop where if we're talking about equipment and raid sets and gear at these distribution centers, like that's where they're going to test that environment. They're going to flesh that out for 4.0 or 1.0, whatever.
Okay,
right? In the very near future.
Describe what you think a raid set looks like in Star Citizen then.
They could go anywhere with it. Let's
what do you think though? This is that. I mean, that's what this is about.
What would you want?
You're
like, let's just say this is the
free to think however you want here, man.
Yeah.
The Tumblr executive set, like it's kitted out, like it's a suit of armor underneath, like something fashionable, maybe, I don't know. It's something that it's super rare, right?
Okay, so a raid set again doesn't mean a set of armor that I need to use to complete this raid. A raid set is the set of armor I got for completing that raid.
Yeah, super hard things.
Cool.
They don't have to be like in-game power scaling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Vandal Mask. It's cool.
Yeah, 100%.
And we should have more things like it,
Yes,
and
we
they
should.
should be difficult to obtain. But again, the gameplay needs to get fleshed out to obtain those for me to be interested.
Yeah, like it was obvious that the Vandal Mask event was so undermined by the lack of gameplay because of the ability to, not in the lack of gameplay, but the ability to undermine it or whatever ruined it, right?
Yeah.
But these sound pretty basic. I'm sure there'll be some bugs and people figure out some ways to undermine them or whatever, but it sounds pretty simple. Is I kill stuff, I get a token, I open a door, I loot stuff, I kill more stuff, I get a token, I open a door, I loot stuff, and it's just what does the reward, is the juice worth the squeeze, and what does the juice look like? You know, that's kind of the whole topic today.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, again, with item retrieval, I hope they don't, I don't know what they're going to do with it, because your Vandal Mask is going to lose all value if everybody's walking around with an item retrieved Vandal Mask, right?
Yeah, which is why I lost my mind when they keep injecting it back every Halloween. You're just like, come on, bro, what the fuck? Get an original idea. You had one. Do it like it was great. You had a good idea. Why are you ruining it? So
yeah, the other interesting alternative I think they can go down is the blueprint route, which again the previous caller did bring up.
Oh yeah.
And if we're going the scope of blueprints, like what's the one thing they haven't sold to us in Star Citizen so far? They've sold us ships, they've sold us equipment, they sold us cosmetics, they even sold us hangars. Like they've sold us land claims. Well, they haven't sold us base building yet.
Yep.
I'm sure they will. But they haven't sold us components. I think components are one of the biggest things.
Technically, they did once.
Oh, really?
Yes. Go do the 300i customization. You can actually customize the components. They only did it once, and they never did it again. And I'm glad they never did it again. So sorry, interrupt King again. This time I should not have interrupted. My apologies. Coolgy, continue.
I'm glad. Well, I wasn't around back then, so you know.
I like to inject the I've been around for too long and but I'm actually.
But with the blueprints, like components specifically, like they can flesh it out so much. Like you can give unique actives for the engineer to activate, like to go over there and physically activate, like let's just say you're being quantum dampened. And now you have a unique passive on your quantum drive that will suppress the quantum dampening for 5 seconds on an activation, right?
Yes.
Like they can, and shield generators that can just regen shields through combat for 2 to 5 seconds on an activation. Like there's so much they can do with the blueprint system. And I hope to God they make it, like, my biggest thing with the blueprints, I hope it's detailed and complicated out of the gate, because I don't want blueprints to come in simple and then spend the next 5 years reworking them and expanding them. Like, I hope they just use their imagination and just do something a little crazy, right? Because I think Star Citizen has been playing it safe for so long. It really needs to step on the gas pedal here.
I will say, as a system, I don't think it needs to be any more complex than like insert blueprint into machine, supply resource A, supply resource B. Over time, it becomes a thing. I don't think it needs to be more complex than that.
No,
I disagree as well.
But that's regular crafting from like every video game ever, Mike.
No.
But you can have chance rates on procs. You can have like a 2% legendary.
No,
Not that. Don't do that. No. Please, no.
And you can have 5,000 runs on the print. Like,
Mike's dying over here. Jeez.
That's the like mobile game stuff. Can we not do that? What I'm talking about, please. I'm just talking about the like Eve. You research the blueprint and you get more efficient at it and stuff like that. That's it.
Yeah, sure. That's
okay. That's
I don't think that's any more complicated than what I was mentioning.
I thought that was adding like complexity. So I was like,
there's an end to that though, Mike. Right? Like once you grind it out, well, what am I going to do now? Now I'm flooding the market with my legendary quantum drives.
Well, you can't flood the market with legendary quantum drives because it might be hard to get the stuff to make the legendary quantum drive. You get the blueprint, but then you got to get the stuff.
And that stuff better be lost on death too. Like
Yes,
insurance doesn't.
That is the like none of these ideas work if players aren't losing their components on death. If they don't change that, we don't have a game. Like if they don't change that, for all the people who are, I think Lando included after this week, that really don't want me to be a part of this community anymore, that will get me to go away. That's the thing that's going to do it is if the components aren't getting churned at all or armor or all those things. And I know a lot of people out there are praying for that. So if you guys want me to go away, root for those things to disappear.
I mean, if those things disappear, the entire concept of a player economy doesn't exist, really.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, because that is a cost, right? So
yeah.
I don't, and again, even now with repairing and ships not actually blowing up, like how often is that even going to happen? Where now you're salvaging this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really worried actually, and that's why I wanted to be super rare with a 2% rate, because like in Mike's case where you just get efficient at it, you can just make it so freely. The concept of loss is lost a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. It just there has to be a give and take there because we did have this previously and it was incredibly punishing and players didn't like it. So somewhere in the middle, it doesn't have to be completely 100% punishing.
Yeah,
just to be
and
clear
you could find that one
blueprint.
You could have that one blueprint that has the 30% legendary and it only has like 100 runs or something, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
Crazy stuff that I'm thinking.
That's what today's show is all about.
And this is our Hopium episode for the year.
Yes.
Yeah. And the really easy reward system, the last point I had was just display the Spectrum badges next to your name or like a nameplate or something or title.
In game?
Yeah. That's really simple reward stuff that people, it's so small, but it can make a difference actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do not remotely care about Spectrum badges. I don't think I've changed my Spectrum whatever. I don't even know how to change a Spectrum badge. Like,
it's in your settings
actual
somewhere.
titles in game. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm sure that's the intention with those at some point. It's just, yeah.
Maybe with the guild system, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Good luck with that. If they mention guilds in at CitizenCon, I will cry again.
What was you elaborate? I know what a guild is from other games. Have Star Citizen talked about a guild before?
Orgs.
Yeah, so you just mean orgs. Of course they'll be talking about orgs.
At CitizenCon,
I thought you were like, there was a guild system that they used to have that was trash or something.
No. If they actually talk about in the next 12 months or so, we're going to work on orgs, I'll cry again.
Okay, right.
That's what I'm saying.
They're going to say it. If they're shooting for 1.0 next year, right? That's what they said?
They haven't given a definitive date for 1.0.
Oh, they never gave that date? But didn't they say 1.0 is after 4.0?
Yes.
Yeah, but 4.0 was also after 3.0.
Time anything after 4.0 with the concept of time that would not be a lie, right? So they can, it's like the or so comment at CitizenCon. It just allows them to say whatever they want. It's not a year after.
There will be 4.x's, and that they have confirmed. They have said there will be 4.x's, right? So
okay. Well, that's fine, but I think if they say 1.0 is after 4.0, that it implies that next year's major patch at the end of the year will be 1.0. And if they don't have org gameplay by then, I think that's pretty disappointing. So I think you should expect to see it at CitizenCon. And like I said, I'm waiting for 2.0. I'm waiting for my mining gameplay expansion and my Rastra. So.
Let's go. True. I will say, please do not make yourself think that 1.0 is coming anytime soon. Please, for your own happiness.
Yeah, no, I'm chilling, honestly. This game, I just play it whenever there's a patch. I'm not too butthurt about it. So.
Good. Yeah, I didn't know if you were gonna be like, oh, they didn't get it. This is ridiculous. But
I will also say I do think the natural progression after base building, like focusing, right, like feature focus after base building, probably is org gameplay. So I don't think it's necessarily
they seem to go hand in hand, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe at the same time, maybe there's a whole patch
Possibly.
associated with it or something like that, but
Yeah.
who knows? But Coolgy, do you have anything else you want to say or anything like that?
No,
before we
I
let
just
you go?
appreciate you guys taking me, honestly. It's a pleasure to talk to you, Mike, and Croncy as well.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
I hope Croncy
Cheers.
gets his Van Duel mask.
Yeah.
I don't even want it.
I hope he doesn't, because I hope
Yeah.
they do the. I hope he gets it like, hey, I earned a bunch of money in game and I want this, keeps it like this rare item to display somewhere one day. But I do hope they like do limited runs of things like I was here moments like we talked about, right? So from
If
that
he doesn't
perspective-
want it, I'll take it.
Fair.
I'll just take his right in
I'll
front of
get-
him.
Sure, deal.
Yeah.
You got it.
Let me tell if they never do it again, try to remind me. I have the worst memory in the world. Try to remind me of today, and then when the game ever goes 1.0, maybe I'll give you my other one for a good price.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you.
All right, man. Catch you soon,
Take care.
Coolgy.
Cheers.
Bye now. All right.
Damn, Mike, extorting your fans for UEC.
That's right. Yeah. Coolology. Yeah. See, I don't know what I said there, but yeah, that's that was a moment. But we made it. We made it through a show, and we made it through a week that was pretty rough in terms of content and stuff. So yeah, I loved we gotta do more stuff like this. Like I the way I've
We
been
used
like,
to, and then they spent this entire year giving us tons of news every week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I got to think of what we're gonna do next week, but I'm sure it'll be Wave 1. I can't like.
Surely they're talking about it like it's close, like genuinely actually close. Wave 1. And then even in addition, they're talking about asteroid bases next week, right? On ISC. So
Hell yeah. So we're gonna have something fun.
It's gonna be big.
Well, yeah, they're
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
not just asteroid bases, contested zones. So they're gonna talk
They
about
are talking about contested zones. Actually.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. So like we speculated this week and we're gonna find out the answers next week. So it'll be a lot of fun and maybe we can discuss all that stuff. So that'll be really cool. But yeah.
Yep.
That's the podcast for this week. So if you guys are new here and you haven't hit the subscribe button, do it. We do this show every week where we kind of talk about stuff in the beginning and share our own thoughts, but then open up the calls to members of the community that aren't content creators necessarily and don't have a platform like Croncy and I do, and allow them to share their thoughts and feelings about Star System. That's the whole theme of the show. So if you guys want to answer the call, hit the subscribe button. You can go above and beyond and hit the join button. Thank you to everyone who has. You guys are awesome. And yeah, like and subscribe, or like and comment on the video and stuff like that as well. And Croncy, do you have anything going on before we head off that you want to share or anything like that?
Nothing going on, but as a reminder as well, if you may be a little bit too shy to call in, head to the Discord. We've got a questions for the show section where you can submit some questions. Sometimes they can be about the topic. Sometimes they can just be something interesting that you might have come across over the week for us to chat about. So
yeah, and apologies for not getting to them today. It's a bit of a weird setup because I would have to go to Discord to grab them, and if I go to Discord, Croncy disappears. So that's why I didn't do them today. We usually grab them before the show and talk about like a random topic, but since today was so focused, it was a little bit awkward. So next week it might be good after you watch ISC to possibly throw in some questions there that would be relevant for the show next week. Okay, so a little hint there. But with that said,
well, one more. This is the
one
only
more.
last thing, just because we leaked it on the Twitch stream just before we got started, which is the D&D game that we've been talking about for a little bit. The
thought
one
we did it
shot is
live
going
here
to be
as well.
happening.
Yeah.
Nah, I think we only did it on Twitch. So that'll be on the
17th. Yeah.
Yes, the 17th of August.
I have never played D&D. I am so nervous. I am so scared. I feel like I'm going to ruin it for everybody, and it's why I've been kind of quiet in the comms, because I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm very scared. I don't want to ruin it. So be easy on me, okay?
I'll try.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill him first, chat.
Please do. But with that said, don't forget
to answer the call
and turn off the intro at the beginning of the show, Mike. Jesus.